What is the Punisher's true role in Spider-Man Brand New Day? What on earth is he even doing in this film? Is he hunting somebody? Could he be hunting Spider-Man? Could he be hunting the Hulk? Is that why there are rumors of them all fighting each other? Do him and Spider-Man get into it? Do they fight because of a difference in morals, which I assume will probably happen in the movie for sure? Or is he hunting somebody else? Is he hunting someone else? Someone's. Who knows? I think I might have come to the bottom of it. We've heard already that it's confirmed that this Punisher will be an upgraded version of the Punisher we've already seen. He's going to have new tech so that he can face bigger threats. That's the exact wording that was used. Bigger threats. Superhuman level threats instead of street level, I'm guessing. He's got a freaking tank. He's got a Punisher van. We've seen in the behind the scenes, Spider-Man's on a tank. Now, if this is Punisher's tank, I'm assuming it is because the only reference to a tank in any leaks is the Punisher's tank. So maybe it is his. We also see the Punisher van and Spider-Man on it. Now, when I'm seeing these pictures, I'm like, okay, what the hell's happening? Is Spider-Man like on it to like stop it? Is he fighting against Frank in these, or is he riding along with Frank? I'm assuming at least one of these sequences features him fighting Frank. I assume that he joins Frank in the Punisher van in an alliance, and he's maybe trying to stop Punisher's tank from going through the city and mauling a bunch of criminals and killing them. I think. That's the assumption I have, but I could be completely freaking wrong because honestly I have no idea what the fuck this movie's even about, right? They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight early on. It's not gonna be a fist fight. Frank would never win that. I'm saying there's gonna be a sequence. Put money on this. There's gonna be a sequence, okay? In which Frank Castle is trying to nuke some dudes badly. He's trying to kill them all. And Spider-Man stops him from killing them all. In a sequence where he's not fighting Frank. He's just trying to stop all of Frank's weapons and traps and all that stuff and getting around them and save everybody from Frank. And then he's going to web up Frank. It's going to be something like that. They're not actually going to have like a fist fight or anything. He might be dodging a couple bullets and trying to spare other people from Frank's wrath. I believe that's what's going to happen until they both come to an agreement or something. Now, my original theory, which I don't think is correct anymore, was that basically Frank Castle is going to show up in the beginning of the movie where Spider-Man's going to be hunted down by Fisk's anti-vigilante task force. They're not going to be in the film for that long, but they're going to be there because we need to establish that Spider-Man exists in the same world as Daredevil Born Again and the consequences of whatever happened in that show, because Fisk is the goddamn mayor of the city that Spider-Man is vigilanteing in. We need to connect. We need to show that exists. If the MCU loves connecting everything, right? So, the anti-vigilante task force, maybe they have a couple of assassins with them that are supervillains in the Spider-Man canon, and Punisher's going to help Spider-Man fight them off, and then we're not going to hear from Punisher for the rest of the film, okay? But maybe Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Frank Castle are going to have a heart-to-heart where they have a disagreement about why he kills, and Spider-Man's in a dark place, and he sees, because of his isolation, he sees how isolated Frank is from the world, and says, okay, I don't want to be like that. And this kind of helps him develop an arc back to removing himself from isolation and trying to be happy and be a normal person instead of just a vigilante all day. Basically, obviously Punisher's kill code would be a problem for Spider-Man, and that would be the conflict between them. And then he's going to be in the first half. We're not going to see him after that. We're not going to see a three-way fight between them. I don't think that we're going to see a three-way fight between Hulk, Frank Castle, and Spider-Man. I just don't think this movie's doing that. However, maybe Frank Castle has a bigger role in the movie than I thought based on all the things I'm seeing behind the scenes. But I think his role is determined by who the villain is, the major villain of the movie. That determines. If it's like some crazy super powered villain or some crazy insane comic book level shit or multiversal, Frank's not going to be a part of that storyline, okay? If it's street level, if it's more street level, then I believe Frank will come into the fray, and you might see Frank also come back in the third act, okay? The rumors are, Scorpion I think is confirmed for the film, but there were rumors that Tarantula would be also a villain, Tombstone maybe, and Mr. Negative was like the main one that I was hearing, that he's the main villain behind it all. Since then, I've read that the rumors have been debunked, okay? And if Mr. Negative was the main villain, a super-powered being who's going to infiltrate Spider-Man's soul, the heart of Spider-Man's soul, I was going to, okay, if the main villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day is a villain who's using the Dark Force, I don't think Punisher is going to be in that storyline much. I just don't think that fits the Punisher. I think Punisher would be there for more of a bit more of a street level, on the ground, against more grounded villain type thing. There could be a point in the story where a Mr. Negative could be the villain and Punisher gets corrupted and then Spider-Man would have to fight him, but I don't think that's happening at all. I don't think it's happening at all. And I've heard that the rumors of Mr. Negative coming into the fray have been debunked. I've heard that that's actually not true. I've heard that the rumored villains are AIM, basically this tech terrorist organization that wants to take over the world, one piece of technology at a time and rule it all with scientists, and Silver Samurai, I've heard is the villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Why? Why not just have a Spider-Man original villain? Silver Samurai is a Wolverine villain, I'm pretty sure. I know that there's in comics they've crossed over, like, oh, Silver Samurai maybe has fought a couple of Avengers. I don't care. If you're gonna have a villain in the movie, in Spider-Man's fourth movie, use a villain you haven't seen before from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. I know there's probably a comic book where they fought. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Now, AIM. I don't think Silver Samurai, by the way, is the main villain of this. AIM, however, probably. I could see the MCU loves their seedy, sinister little organizations that have access to crazy tech that we can see CGI'd all over the screen. Like I know the MCU loves this shit. AIM is a tech terrorist organization that probably has ties to all the crime in New York City. Okay, I believe that AIM in this will give Scorpion his weapons, his outfit, his costume, his suit, and give him a way to get revenge on Spider-Man. I truly believe that's what's going to happen. And they will also be kind of connected to a couple other villains. Now, when people think of AIM, they think of MODOK. MODOK, we saw him in Ant-Man. He was shit. I don't want to see this dude ever again, and we're not going to see him ever again. I don't think AIM is going to be fleshed on a lot in this specific story in terms of all these other characters. I think they're going to be pulling the strings from behind the scenes, kind of like Hydra was in Winter Soldier. In order for Frank to be in the movie more, there needs to be an incentive for a character like Frank Castle to show up. And I feel like it would have to be city crime related, like a crime boss, organized crime, or a mafia, or something like that. I think that fits the Punisher more than, oh, look, this tech terrorist organization with all these technologically advanced super soldier assassins, you know? Like, he could be a part of that storyline, don't get me wrong, but I feel like to fit Frank Castle's kind of arc, you're gonna need some organized crime level shit, which is where Tombstone comes in. I thought maybe Wilson Fisk could have been in it, but that's never gonna happen. They're not. I just don't think the MCU is trying to bridge Daredevil to Spider-Man right now in any way. Tombstone. I believe that a villain like Tombstone that is grounded, but it could also be this dude pulling the strings from behind the scenes as well, maybe working with AIM secretly through like weapons trade or whatever. I believe that's where he could come in. He's fought Spider-Man many times. He's superhuman. He can occupy street level while being able to fight superpowered beings like Spider-Man. It's perfect for Punisher and Spider-Man to fight together, to be honest. And I believe if Tombstone is the villain, that they're going to adapt the family plot comic book, where Punisher is hired to kill Spider-Man in that comic book because Spider-Man was set up. It's basically set up by Tombstone. So in this movie, what could happen is Punisher... Maybe Spider-Man's framed for a crime, like a murder or something, set up by Tombstone and organized crime, who are trying to get superheroes killed off or turned against each other so they can be removed from the way for organized crime to come in. And Punisher goes after Spider-Man. In fact, I think it would be great if Tombstone could be behind this and Punisher develops a kill list of rogue superheroes that have gone rogue and have killed people and done crimes, and Punisher develops technology to fight off these superheroes, including Spider-Man and maybe even the fucking Hulk. All because Tombstone set up Spider-Man and maybe set up the Hulk. Maybe he and AIM are responsible for the rage, like full-on rage Hulk going rampant all over the place. They might be responsible for Savage Hulk being released. So, here's how I think the order of events would go. If I'm right, this is how it's gonna go. Punisher tries to kill Spider-Man early on. They have a fight. Spider-Man's been set up. He's been set up for multiple crimes, okay? And Peter Parker is at his most isolated in this moment, at his darkest hour, okay? They have a fight, they resolve it, and eventually will team up against the main boss behind it all, Tombstone, who's working with AIM. AIM is dealing tech, weaponized tech that's advanced as hell to organize crime, slowly ceding control over the city. This is what they want, okay? You can consider AIM the Oscorp of this storyline. Tombstone wants this. He's setting up heroes purposely against each other, making heroes look bad publicly so that they can be taken care of by anti-vigilante task force as well, and then other assassins like Punisher. They know of them, so they know that getting these heroes to turn on each other is a good way for them all being removed. Okay? Scorpion is an assassin hired by Tombstone, and Scorpion has a vendetta against Spider-Man. So they're going to be working together against Spider-Man and Punisher. So Punisher and Spider-Man team up to fight off Tombstone and his gang, which includes Scorpion. And then Punisher will take his exit from the story, and Spider-Man will confront AIM. I don't know what this confrontation will look like, but I know that Sadie Sink, Mayday Parker's character, will be connected to AIM at some point. We're going to get to that, okay? Hulk. I don't know what the fuck Hulk's role with this would be, other than the fact that he's probably going to be a professor at Peter's college. Okay, I made a whole video on this about what I think the story is going to look like. He's going to be a professor at Peter's college, and AIM, through the help of Tombstone, is going to figure out a way to make him go Savage Hulk mode and destroy the campus. And Spider-Man will have to stop him, and maybe Punisher comes in then. I didn't think they were going to fight each other, but who knows at this point. And Hulk going full rage mode, and then Spider-Man being framed for killing, makes Punisher develop a kill list and saying, I gotta fuck these rogue superheroes up now. I gotta be there to put them in line. Sadie Sink. People think she's Mayday Parker, daughter of Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man somehow. I don't know what the fuck that... I don't know how that shit would even work, okay? I don't want them to go multiversal in this story. I want one good Spider-Man story that's grounded in street level, personally, okay? Like, that's one thing I appreciate about Homecoming. At least there wasn't all this multiversal bullshit. Or, granted, you had cameos like Iron Man coming in, but still. At least it was a grounded story for the most part. She might be connected to AIM. AIM does a lot of weird advanced technology stuff. Like, they can do cloning. They might be working on the opening rifts to different universes. I don't want them to go that route, but maybe she either works for them or is a product of them trying to create Spider-Man clones or Spider-Man people, spider people, and they created her, maybe, as a result of using Spider-Man's DNA from... Maybe they've collected his blood over the time from all the fights he's been having in fucking New York, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Especially if we have a character like Alistair Smythe, who created the Spider Slayers in the comics and was leading them. Maybe the AIM is like the Spider Slayer storyline of this, and they're creating clones. I don't know how genuinely don't know what the fuck her character is going to be in this. I'm just spitting bullshit right now. She could be a clone. Or she could come from a different universe and be Tobey Maguire's freaking daughter, which makes no sense at all. That's not, by the way, I don't think that's happening. I don't know what role she would even have. That's part of the reason I don't want it to happen, man. It's just like we're throwing too much shit in this. Let's just chill. Let's make her connected to AIM via them trying to create spider people for some reason. Creating an army of cloned Spider-Man who you control is a very lucrative idea for a company who wants to rule over a city or even fucking rule the world, for who knows, man. They're worse than the Winter... You remember in Civil War when the Winter Soldiers... The other soldiers that the Winter Soldier was a part of from those Nazi experiments got released? Remember the threat of those super soldiers being released in Civil War? And Bucky warned Cap, like, they could destabilize entire countries, they could fuck everyone up. Imagine, like, if you had an army of Spider-Men with a similar level of intelligence doing that. You're fucked. If you want to know what I think the actual plot of Spider-Man Brand New Day would be outside of Punisher, you can watch this video over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.